All right. It's that time to take that walk into the dailies, the national newspapers, take a look at the headlines, and of course, find out what's going on in our great country of Nigeria. For the final time this week, we are stepping into Freshly Pressed. This is the Smooth Breakfast on Smooth 98.1, your love music, love live station. 14th day of November 2025. It's 32 minutes past 7 a.m. Ayokunmi Kekere with her with you, and I'm so glad, so pleased, so privileged to be here on the radio, talking to you and bringing you the best of the best of the best. You are most welcome into another great morning where you get to interact with us and play a big part in what we'll be doing this morning. So please do join us on WhatsApp. Also join us on YouTube as well for those who love the audio visual experience. Now, the WhatsApp number to send your messages to 0911 999 0981 0911 999 0981. As usual, keep your comments as concise as possible. Make them easy for me to read and to get through as well. I know that sometimes you're rushing through the messages, but just pause a couple of seconds to put it all together, and that makes it a seamless one to get across. Also, join us on YouTube, as I mentioned, Smooth 981 FM Lagos. Smooth 981 FM Lagos. You can leave your comments there as well, just like you would on WhatsApp. All right, joining me this morning to analyze the stories, two fine gentlemen you already know, but of course, I need to introduce them as per how it is. AB Bozimo and, of course, Joseph Obari are with us this morning. AB, good morning to you.
Good morning, Ayo. Good morning, Joseph. Welcome back from space. And good morning to all of our wonderful listeners out there.
Yes, indeed. Welcome back from space. Now he's on safari. Joseph, good morning to you.
Thank you, Ayo. Thank you, AB. Good morning, everybody. Welcome, listeners. Always welcome your inputs, your very insightful comments and contributions. Welcome.
All right. So, without further ado, let us jump into the nitty gritty. Let us start what we have come here to do. And we shall begin, AB, talking about an issue that has been on the front burner for a while now, and it's still ongoing. And that is talking about what's going on with our doctors. We can't not update everyone with what's going on with our doctors. We'll step into the premium times. And 13 days after the Nigerian Association of Resident Doctors, NARD, began its strike, major hospital services remain paralyzed, leaving patients stranded. Now, the strike, which began on the 1st of November, has grounded operations in several federal and state tertiary hospitals, with only skeletal services being offered by consultants, nurses, and auxiliary staff. Now, Premium Times visits to hospitals in Abuja and Lagos this week revealed near empty wards and frustrated patients returning home without treatment. So, AB, that was as at yesterday. Today will make it 2 complete weeks, 14 days of the strike ongoing, and it doesn't seem like there's any tunnel, let alone any light at the end of said tunnel.
Okay. The reality for all of us is that health is the foundation of any form of productivity you may care to do. When you're not healthy, every single other thing begins to fail. So the vital nature of the health sector cannot be overstated. We have a government that touts all sorts of numbers and talks about how something is oversubscribed, Eurobond, all that may be good. But if the people who you are purportedly trying to service are not getting the necessary healthcare that they need, then all of that, I'm sorry to say, is audio. And audio applies to this story because I'll take one particular quote first. The coordinating Minister of Health and Social Welfare, Mohammed Pate, one of 49 or 57 ministers that this current administration is carrying along, spoke at the opening session of the 2025 Joint Annual Review of the Health Sector on Wednesday. And he appealed to striking resident doctors to, I quote him, put the Nigerian person at the center of attention. This is the minister saying that the doctors should put the Nigerian person at the center of attention.
Mm.
Is the minister and his colleagues and his boss, the president of Nigeria, do they act as if they are putting the Nigerian person at the center of attention? You see, I talked about audio. They said that certain monies, audio, we know is a Nigerian term, certain monies have been approved. But like Mr. C always says, an approval does not translate into release. Some of the doctors said a few of them have started seeing some alerts, but the alerts have stopped. So the question that even comes back, why was the money owed in the first place when we had the money to buy new presidential jets, money to give to the ruling class for vehicles, money for a presidential yacht? We know it's for the Navy, but it's a matter of prioritizing. And that seems to be at issue here. I'm 100% confident that people who go through the rigor of training as doctors put Nigerian persons' lives first. It is not a joke to become a qualified doctor. Let's just keep it. I've said that there are only two kinds of emergencies in the world: medical emergencies and anything else. Because there is no other circumstance where there's an emergency where you not ask one of two questions. Is anybody hurt or did anybody die? If the answer is yes, it's a medical emergency. If the answer is no, you can come back tomorrow. That's the truth. So by the time you have a government, and government is a continuum, I'm not saying it started now, but somebody enters and says they're trying to clean up ship. Why do they prioritize everything else apart from this? I'm just going to say, listen, right now, the few doctors who are consultants and so on are being seriously overworked, because when there's a strike, trust me, the consultants don't go on strike, they go. But medical care is a structured thing where you have the consultant, overseeing the case, and they have the other people, especially these resident doctors, running the day to day. When you don't have that cadre in the hospital, you are causing a lot of stress to the system. And I'll just say, the person who says that the doctor should put the Nigerian person first should lead by example, show that the Nigerian person is first in their priority by making the money available and breaking that institutional mistrust that Nigerians have, because we've had a lot of audio things that are not translated into action. Minister, go back to your Federal Executive Committee meeting that happened one after 4 months. Hopefully the next one will happen before the next 4 months. And it happened seemingly because Trump said he's going to come and attack terrorists in Nigeria. Before that, we're not having FEC. I hope you remember that. Minister, go back on the rare occasions you have FEC and say that the Nigerian people are suffering because the doctors are on strike. Let your president and all the other levers of government put the money, prioritize the people in that health sector, and then we can talk.
All right, thank you for sharing your thoughts on that one, AB. There's something important that you actually mentioned, talking about the consultants and those who are still, providing services here and there, the possibility of them to burn out / break down and all, which ironically is one of the demands that have been made by the doctors who are on strike, in the working conditions where they have to overwork themselves. I just wonder, those who are, still able to provide these skeletal services, for how long will they be able to cope and keep up now that the resident doctors are out on strike? You then add to the problem on the ground. It is
just one thing. Remember that as we are suffering from medical, what we call what's that thing, brain drain. So those who are here, a quantum of them are already planning to leave. You are now keeping them in this state where they are dissatisfied. I think we have to prioritize this. And don't forget, our officials never stay around. Apart from Osibanjo, who did a fairly important operation here recently, most of the rest of them float abroad, almost on broomsticks, to go and get medical treatment elsewhere. That seems to be why they don't care. If I were a medical doctor abroad, okay, I'm not a medical doctor, so I wouldn't talk about how I'll take the biggest injection with the largest needle and give you every needle that I meet you abroad. But I'm not a medical doctor, so it can't happen. That's just one of my fantasies. Friday
If
morning
wishes,
fantasy.
if wishes were horses, really and truly. All right, Joseph, let us talk about some updates in the educational sector. This one, very interesting, because I know we've had this conversation on this table at different times. We're stepping into the punch for this one, where the House of Representatives has ordered the Federal Ministry of Education and the West African Examinations Council to suspend the planned introduction of computer-based testing for the 2026 West African Senior School Certificate Examination. The directive followed the adoption of a motion of urgent public importance moved by Kelechi Wogu during Thursday's plenary session. Now, the lawmaker actually warned that rushing into the CBT model could trigger widespread failure, frustration, and mental distress among students. I know that when this was first talked about, we spoke about why the rush to do this. We've seen how things have worked out for JAM. Why not just patiently put all the ducks in a row first and then transition? Now, the National Assembly has waded into this one. Joseph, what do you think?
Ayo. The truth is that they're talking about the Nigerian students having mental stress. They're already mentally stressed by the kind of educational system we have. This 25th, it was the 21st century, and we are talking about, oh, it's difficult for us to administer computer-based tests. Oh, because some people, what's the reason? The excuse they're giving is that those in the rural areas. So why are we not able to achieve that? Why is it that if a school in a village somewhere in Nigeria cannot be modern? Why? Why is it so difficult? Because it is the same members of the National Assembly who will not vote enough money for education. They would rather keep the money for themselves and pander their own luxury, buy jets, buy whatever, but they will not put the money where it matters. So when are we ever going to resolve that problem, the infrastructural deficiency that makes it impossible to administer computer-based tests? Isn't it a shame that members of the National Assembly can cite the reasons why we cannot administer computer-based tests? Because the infrastructure is not there. Now, the key question is, why is it that we don't have the infrastructure there? It's because they don't vote the money for it to be used there. They put it somewhere else where they can hide it in phantom projects and then siphon the money for themselves, or they are padding it for themselves in the National Assembly budget. Just like it be said. So nobody puts the real Nigerian, the center of their thoughts. So what's the excuse? Yeah, you're giving directives to, are we going to continue like this forever? What is ideal is ideal. So why are you not addressing the bottlenecks that is preventing WAEC or JAM or whatever from actually becoming more modern? Instead of giving excuses. You're just giving excuses. Oh, we are not ready yet. Oh, but then you're not doing anything to address the deficiency that makes it impossible for you to do any of those things. So that's the real issue. That's the real issue.
I will just add, you see, people forget that at the point when President Kennedy said, we shall put a man on the moon, the arithmetic necessary to process what it would take to leave the Earth's orbit had not yet been invented. But setting the target now galvanized people to begin to approach it. When all you're looking for are the reasons why not to do something, then you will perpetually stay behind. If you say to yourself, we shall do CBT, there's no point moving it from this year or next year to 2033 or 2099. If you are not telling us, you told us that 70% of the people are in rural areas. So how do we get down from 70% who are in rural areas with bad schools to 60, to 50, to 20, to 0% in bad schools? No plan. All you're saying is it's not yet time. But it's time for you to get an air-conditioned, bulletproof SUV on roads that are not good. That one, what do? You have bad roads. Instead of fixing the roads, you get SUVs. Do you see how they can solve problems that concern them? There are no problems with it. Get an extra runway in Abuja so that flights can come and go faster because people fly in and out of Abuja. But make schools work. Oh, let's postpone that till 2040 million. I'm embarrassed by this level of immaturity and incompetence at the legislative level of Nigeria. It's embarrassing to hear. There is nothing, each of them is holding a smartphone. Do we have lights? Yet they all have power banks. I remember the same president, same vice president many years ago, Estebanjo, walking around with a power bank. And I was saying, how can somebody who is the vice president of the country have to rely on a power bank? What will the rest of us do? But they have, some of the phones are 2-3 million naira, but they say children in schools shouldn't do CBT. These people they experience cognitive dissonance. They're not connected to the people of Nigeria. Then one of them will tell me, put the Nigerian person first. I beg dress.
Okay, before we leave this particular story, now talking about you mentioned setting targets and so on and so forth. Now, clearly they've said, let's wait till 2030. All well and good, that is fine. Because of XYZ. Now, looking at track record, looking at body language and so on and so forth. I know we don't have crystal balls and we're not seers into the future, but AB, in 2030, would this conversation still be on the same table? I know that you cannot predict the future, but look, we're using antecedents.
That's what I'm saying. What is it that has, let me just tell you something about Nigeria in the few years I've been here, which is decades. There are many things that have happened all around the world. When they happen here, it is because of the people do it, not because of the government is seemingly one of the worst drivers of development. Take the Nollywood we hear of. The standard system for movie making was celluloid. Nigerian filmmakers said we shall load a video cassette and we shall make movies, and we took over the world. It is the people's dynamism. But now government is saying, let's postpone. Why is government saying let's postpone? How about you put in place the facilities that will make even private entrepreneurs set up CBT centers? No, you are saying let's postpone. What a lazy approach to legislation. Very lazy, very backward, and unfortunately quite typical of our legislators. Whenever I have something that doesn't have to do with them. Why? All their children are abroad in standardized schools, doing very well. So of course they know what it looks like. But here, let's wait. Let's wait. Let's postpone your salary till that time. You will find that it will happen next month.
And talking about postponing salaries, that's a very interesting comment, because Benito, who's in Lagos, says, hi, crew, remember, in Nigeria, it's only the executive and legislators that are not owed, but football players, doctors, teachers, and everybody else.
Everybody else.
What a country described by Trump. You know, he described Nigeria in very colorful words. If you remember that particular.
I remember very well. That's when we started having meetings all over the place.
But
all right, AB.
Trump got it wrong. He said it's a now disgraced country, but it has been disgraced a long time ago.
There you have it. All right, AB, let's walk into the punch. And this particular story, well, it might not please some people, but hey, it is what it is. The federal government has warned that the continued consumption of hides and skins, popularly known as momo, poses a serious threat to Nigeria's leather industry, currently valued at about $5 billion. I'll let you just jump right into this one because of time, AB.
First of all, this is a Friday. It's important we modernize these things. That's not momo, it's palms. Let's get it right. Now, as we're saying, right, listen, there is a lot of economic potential. I mean, all these Prada bags and all these things are leather products. And ironically, all the best brand names that we know, typically Italian leather. We actually, they're saying, let's stop eating this commodity. Not that they're against, dietary preferences and tastes, but that we could get so much more economically if we didn't convert the cow hides known as pomo into food and rather processed it. I would also add, I mean, I'm a fan of pomo, I enjoy it, but I can see where it's going. They're saying wear your leather, not eat it. They're coming up with a slogan like that. I don't know how well that will go in all these local underbridge restaurants and all that, but there is a potential for economic gain if we begin to convert at least a portion, let's say a portion of our hides
Right.
and skins into economic products. Food is a very important thing. Nobody's going to take that from anybody. But they're saying, look, how about we just, improve the current 2.79 billion US dollar goods market in Nigeria up to maybe almost 5 billion by 2033. I think there is one part of it that could also have benefit because you have many more people who work in that sector. Yeah, food is a sector, but you can have many more products that are leather based and expertise can be built up. And why should we not be quote unquote dragging with Italian leather brands? I just don't know how culturally it will fly. But
So
there could be some merits. Joseph, you clearly have strong thoughts about this.
honestly, I couldn't hold myself. I'm sorry. The truth simply is that even the so-called Italian leather is we found out they were actually Nigerian leather taken
Mm,
outside and called
right.
Mhm.
Italian leather and all that. They don't now, but the truth is that from my own point of view, I believe that these are very lazy. This is a very lazy approach to solving a problem. The real thing is that Nigeria has the capacity to produce enough pomo to eat and enough leather to sell.
This is
So
true.
why are we not investing more in this industry? The pomo is an industry of its own and it can generate income and people can eat it and enjoy it. We can now produce enough hide for leather business and the value chain will be there. So why are we limiting ourselves? Oh, don't stop eating pomo. It's not the easy eating of pomo. Is being able to produce enough to meet the need for, and Nigeria can meet the need. We've got the land, we've got the resources, we've got everything. So why are we not investing in this very sector, ranching and all that, so that we can produce more cows that can give us this hide and then also give people pomo who want? Pomo is a very small percentage of the real estate itself.
I want to add that it is the biggest irony that for years, decades now, a lot of Nigerian news has had to do with farmers, herders, livestock. We even had a recently added minister of livestock to the 99 ministers we currently are carrying. And somehow, all this news about cows is not translating into economic gains. Like Joseph is saying, with almost 1 million square kilometers of land, 60+% of that arable, there is no reason why we cannot flood the entire world with both pomo or palms and leather products. So it's a matter of, it's not an either or, it is a matter of reductionist thinking and ineptitude and defeat upfront, where you have a government policies statement where don't eat, rather produce. Produce it all. Create the conditions that make leather production feasible, and you will have that economic engine and satisfied bellies.
All right. Let me take a comment or two here before I come back to you, Joseph. Ah, a lot of pomo later on in the day. It's already in my head right now. You see, these are the issues. This is okay. This says, "Good morning, gentlemen. I hope everyone is well. Yes, indeed, we are. Thank you. Concerning the Honorable Minister asking for doctors to be patient-centric, 15 years ago, as an intern at Luth, we were patient-centric and did not receive salaries for the first 8 months. This is
Wow.
2025. The problems persist." This is Sean Odiase from Surulere, and he says in brackets, "If not for patriotism, it would be Dr. Sean Odiase from Canada." Well, I mean,
Wow.
just imagine if he decided or made the choice that I
Th-
can't do this, I'm leaving. That would be one less
exactly.
doctor, in the country. Doctor, just say thank you for everything that you do, even though I know it
Absolutely.
can't be the easiest, but
I very much appreciate you. Yeah.
for sticking it out.
Absolutely.
mm, you're doing bits. I need to add that. All right, let us get back into the groove here, and we're going to jump into the world of oil and gas matters. The punch is where we still are. And the federal government has approved the postponement of the implementation of the 15% import duty on petrol and diesel until the first quarter of 2026, contrary to earlier notions that suspension was in definite. Joseph, let me let you take this one.
Joseph?
Yeah. Yeah. So the executive chairman of the Federal Inland Revenue Service, Dr. Zach Adedeji, has
Adidiji.
Adedeji has advised that this should, and the president has taken that advice. And I think it's a very prudent decision, because the one of the last things you want to create at the end of the year is a situation of anxieties and panic in
Mm,
the sector. Because if you impose this 15% tax now on imported petrol, it means that, of course, prices are going to go up, and we are not really ready. We don't know the capacity of the local refining to meet the need completely without the other one. Some people have criticized this 15% import duty, but I completely support it. I think it's the way to go. I think we ought to begin to prepare ourselves to think of refining locally petroleum hydrocarbon, and producing whatever product we want it to use in this country, and possibly export it as Dangote is doing. So when you now have a situation where you didn't, just like removal of fuel subsidy, you just go suddenly and do that, and it creates a lot of tension in the system. So
mm,
taking that into consideration and saying, okay, let's implement it in the first quarter of 2020, gives room for tank storage all throughout this period till New Year, and then people, it eases off people's already because of this news. There are already, the people are making speculations about possible shortages and all that, even though there may not be, but the speculation will go rife, and people will start reacting, and then you've just signed that they're accused in petrol stations and all that.
right.
So I think it's a very prudent step backward to be able to evaluate things and say, okay, let those who have already placed orders be able to receive, and then pay at the current rate of whatever import duties they are paying, instead of imposing a new tariff on them. And of course, once you do, of course, they pass the costs down to the man at the fuel pump. So you go to buy petrol, and the person saying, "Oh yeah, you have to pay more because I paid more to import the petrol or whatever product you're buying." That is a prudent decision.
All right. Just said it's a prudent decision made here. Okay, I think it's time to run through the comments. I'll take this one on YouTube first. This is from T-Boz, who says, "Good morning, Ayo, AB, and Joseph. Must we all come to the urban center for education? Why are all these men so backward
Wonder.
and myopic?" Sometimes you just wonder the thought process of those who are supposed to, be running the affairs. But hey, here we are. All right, straight into WhatsApp. Let's see here. This is Joseph Mania in Silver Estate. Yeah, good morning to you, Joseph. He says the bitter and hurtful truth is that this government is making the highest money or the most money since 1999 to date. The saving from the subsidy removals, increased earnings from crude oil, non-oil sectors, increased VAT, stamp duty, and so on. Loans are continuously received from foreign lenders, yet the government who have it easy, getting things for themselves and cronies, but basic sectors like health and education aren't concerned about. Lastly, let them stop deceiving themselves about the Omo issue because it's for media, no plans to execute anything. It will surprise you, Joseph, that when you see that, oh, there's a shortage of Omo in the markets, maybe then you'll know that it's for real. But let's hope it doesn't get to that. There's a reason I mentioned that. Chidozie says, Momo is a delicacy for the man on the streets. That's that same man who can't afford chicken, beef, and seafood. What then do they want that man to use for protein? This small Momo
It's
that
not
we're
for only
managing.
poor man on the street. Oh, big
It's
men, they
not
like pomo.
exactly.
Don't joke with that. Oh.
More than acquired taste.
he said, he said, I beg, nothing should do our Momo because we'll be hitting the streets with our placards. Hashtag justice for bombs. You can see that this is not sitting
Thank
well with a
you.
lot of people. I said
I'm
at the
telling you.
beginning that a lot of people would not be happy about this. But as you have said, gentlemen, there's no reason why both cannot go side by side without any issues.
Yes. It's
There
not
really
an
is
either
not.
or.
Mm.
Mm.
Ayo Infestac says, on WAEC, my question is, how will they now test theory questions and practicals? I guess they'll figure
Oh,
that
you
one
can
out.
write
I guess
essay. You can write essay
those
on
will.
computer. When they say it's a
Is-
computer-based test, doesn't mean you cannot write an essay. You
Yeah,
I
write,
guess
yeah.
they'll still
open
have
a
their
Obviously,
page, you
practical
write.
sessions
There's
in the
a
labs.
section for you to write explanations and all that. Yeah.
but he's talking about maybe the practicals, like lab
They'll still do
experiments and
those.
all that.
They'll still do those. There's no other way to do that. They'll still do those. I'm pretty sure.
The
At the
fact,
end of the
listen,
day.
what we're saying is that let's tackle it, then we overcome the problems. You don't just
Yeah, the
postpone
challenges,
willy-nilly.
yeah.
You don't just start, oh my God, we can't do it. Start it. Nothing ever became excellent from day one. But all the laziness in the house, let's postpone till 2030. So that what will happen? What's different? Do you know how many national development plans I alone have grown up seeing? 2010, 2020, 20. Everyone is moving 10 years forward. Why?
Postponement
We
of the
always
whole
get there and we have to postpone it again. Come on now.
All right. Stan says, nobody should touch my pomo. With all that is going on, pomo is the problem. With the price of meat and fish, I won't eat pomo care. Please, what is the price of 1 kilo of fish, meat, and chicken? There lies the
Okay.
answer, or there lies your
Okay.
answer to pomo consumption. And this is Tony Marine Beach, who says, did I realize these politicians are not there for us? I stopped giving myself headache over their mindless financial decisions.
Exactly.
As for the AU, I'm still trying to understand the angle they're coming from on this Nigerian matter. When did they start getting involved in these kind of open lies in the face of overwhelming evidence? Okay, interesting message, Tony, but not on the table of what we've been discussing this morning. Ajay Olunidua says, good morning, Ayo, AB, and Joseph. But how is it possible that this strike action by resident doctors is allowed to continue for a whole 2 weeks? Is government saying that the people no longer require medical services? What kind of government will go to sleep while its citizens are dying for lack of medical treatment?
The government we have.
He then says, let them increase the production of hides and skin so we can have enough leather and our people can still enjoy their pomo as beef is out of their reach. All right, and let me squeeze this last one in. This is Leko in Lagos who says, good morning, crew. When the purpose is not known, abuse or misuse is inevitable. For the resident doctors' strike, I'm not surprised. If the president, senators, governors have health issues, they travel to France and other foreign countries for medical tourism, while the APC government pays premium, on 20 or places premium on 2027 elections. What do you want to say? Than the doctors' welfare. Even okay, look at the number of doctors and nurses that have left the country under this government since 2015, APC government since 2015 till now. In their thousands, same doctors that will still treat them in foreign hospitals. All they know is to borrow and tax to loot, live luxurious lifestyles. And you can see that the worst of us is ruling the best of us. Truly, there was a country. There still is a country, Sha. That's all I can say. Anyways, let's wrap it all up. Great comments and great thoughts coming from you. Thank you so much for all that. And thank you so much to you, AB and Joseph, for joining me this morning.
Thank you always, guys. Maybe, yeah, go on.
Thank you, Ayo. As I said, it's one of my Friday fantasies to be a doctor. It didn't happen. I disappointed my mother, but I would have had the biggest injection with a huge needle waiting for them in foreign countries. Just arrive. The injection you get will take you back to Nigeria. But it's just a fantasy. It can't happen. God bless you guys. Have a wonderful weekend, all listeners.
Well, thank you, gentlemen. Thank you, listeners. You've always made it richer. And we're glad that we've been here with you. I wish you a very wonderful weekend. Stay safe wherever you are.
All right. Thank you so much. Wonderful weekend to both of you as well. And keep safe out there where you are. Lagos, thank you all so much once again for keeping it tuned to the show. It has been freshly pressed on the Smooth Breakfast on Smooth 98.1. The locker room comes up at 8:15. And of course, everybody is buzzing after the Super Eagles did what they did yesterday against Gabon.
Yes,
one step closer to the World Cup. My name is
you are
Ayokunmi.
proud to be a
Get
Nigerian.
Stay with us.